So let me begin with a definition of covenant. A covenant is an agreement, usually formal, between two or more persons to do or not do something specified. Okay, so a covenant is a type of an agreement. Okay, and this is, it's important that we understand that there's got to be agreement. See, that's when we talk about people being believers or saved or this or that, these are almost all the time people that you're not in agreement with, or who are not necessarily in agreement with their Creator. If the human party involved in the covenant with Yahweh does not keep the covenant's conditions, there are consequences. Of course, that's one of the things that we don't like. We don't like there to be consequences. Of course, we know by the law of reaping and sowing that if there weren't consequences, this essentially mocks Yahweh. Okay, we have the verse that says, Elohim will not be mocked. You will reap what you sow. See, that's the other part of the covenant, is that covenants are witnesses. And so maybe when we see the word witness throughout Scripture, we should be thinking, I wonder what covenant it's talking about. Because the covenant is a witness between. Now, witness between what? That they've come to an agreement, and that agreement requires action on each side, or things not to happen on each side. They're agreeing to do or not to do. It's all well and good to see Abraham making covenants with different people, and Yitzhak and Yaakov, etc. But what about us? Because really what we are trying to understand is, when we read the Scripture, how does this all impact our development, our growth, our transformation from what we are into what He is? And so we need to understand this covenant relationship, because this is the status that we should be desiring. It is the status that we should hopefully be able to, with confidence, claim that we have, is being covenanted. That's kind of the basis that I want to have us keep together, is that as we're looking at covenants, covenant is the highest level, in my opinion, and most serious of agreements. And that is actually referring back to, I believe, Exodus 19, when he's saying, look, we have an agreement. Okay, and in that agreement, maybe we just need to read that first as the basis for all of this. Let's go to Exodus 19 just real quickly. Because some of you, especially if you're new, and you're learning all of this stuff now brand new, you're like, oh, I can't do that anymore? I didn't know that was involved. Or, oh, I have to now do this? Oh, I didn't realize that was part of this. That shouldn't matter if you're covenanted. See, but when you came to this, you were seeking truth. You knew your peace had been disturbed. He disturbed your peace and got you all questioning. But you hadn't realized that it was all going to lead back to Exodus 19 and a covenant. When are you going to stand up and make a choice, make a decision and a commitment? That's what the people had to do here. And of course, you see them failing at it a lot of times. And we can look at them going, what's wrong with these people? What's wrong with you? You got your own moments like they did. Oh, it's so easy to judge them. How could they see those signs and wonders and miracles and then do what they did, not going in the land when they saw the giants and stuff? I don't know. Giants? We're talking about real 13, 14, 15-foot people. And you're afraid of your 5-foot mother. When we do I don't know about everybody out there, but when you, through MTOI, do the mikvah, you get baptized, you get immersed, we have you make 8 declarations. Those are covenantal declarations in front of witnesses, like a marriage. And I say that to all of you before we do it. I said, this is like a marriage. It's a private covenant between you and your Creator, just like a marriage is between you and your spouse, in front of witnesses where you make declarations. And those declarations, if you remember the 8 declarations, were things that you were covenanting to do and not do. The last one being to walk out your life in such a way as to bring the names of Yahweh and Yeshua glory and honor and not shame. That verse, I believe it hints that there's already a covenant in place. It doesn't say it. But he's saying, I'm not going to strive with man. And I don't think he'd be striving unless there was an expectation, hey, we've agreed and you're not keeping the agreement and I'm tired of fighting with you about this or striving with you and having you go astray. What kind of violence is he talking about? See, this is why. See, if you were to study your word and study your scripture and open yourself up, this is what the Spirit does. You want to know what? Because people say, well, I want to see the Spirit moving. You just saw it. I was reading something in Genesis, and the Spirit moved to remind me of a verse. See, it doesn't have to be something like gold dust flying out of the ceiling and landing on people. It can be something as simple as that's what the Spirit does. It will bring and stir to remembrance.